Wonderful. And I believe my screen should be sharing at the moment. So as Kara had mentioned, I am a geologist, the senior exploration geologist for Minto Metals, um, located in the Yukon. So I'm going to give you a brief overview of what Minto Metals is, and then a little bit about myself as a geologist and the career field, and some of the challenges I faced, but also the successes that we're starting to see. So an overview of Minto Metals. Minto Metals operates the Minto mine, located roughly 240 kilometers north of Minto, or of Whitehorse in Yukon Territory. The mine has been operational since 2007 and began underground mining in 2014. Minto is a high-grade copper, gold, and silver mine, extracting primarily bornite, chalcopyrite, and chalcocite ore. So those are three variations of copper ore. The process of mining is 100% underground, long-hole mining, and we extract it with 45-ton haul trucks and process it in the on-site mill. From here, it's sent out to Skagway, Alaska, where it's then shipped to Sumitomo Corporations in Japan for smelting into copper concentrate. We work in partnership with the Selkirk First Nations Band of the Northern Tutchone language and cultural group of the Lower Pelly River area. We're located on Category A SFN settlement land, and it's leased to Minto Metals. That means that after we finish mining, we decommission and reclaim the property and give it back to the SFN. So what is a geologist? Now this is the textbook definition. A geologist is a scientist who studies the solid, liquid, and gaseous matter that constitutes the Earth and other terrestrial planets, as well as the processes that shape them. Now this doesn't really actually have any meaning to me or many other geologists that I know. So in reality, what is a geologist? A geologist is a scientist, yes. But much more than that, a geologist is someone with a passion, imagination, and perseverance. A geologist is a person who theorizes a solution, fails, and then without missing a beat, tries and tries again. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, when it comes to the Earth and natural order, nothing really likes to fit in a perfect shape that we want it to. And a lot of our work is inferred from theories and ideas, like many other scientific fields. The only difference is the ground is solid, so we never 100% know what's going on under it. But we have our best theories until we're proven wrong. So what does a geologist do? The prerequisite is typically a 4-year Bachelor of Science. You can also go to Northlands College. They offer a geological course, or for myself, the University of Saskatchewan. So there are many other fields of geology. There's geochemists, geophysicists, structural geologists, paleontologists, and others. But for now, I'll only speak to the ones I know best. And often they incorporate a lot of the roles of these three. So an exploration geologist is the bottom tier. We're the ones that find everything first. We're the ones that look for the resources and mine and new mines. We do prospecting, geological mapping, core logging, using 3D software and data, for example, imagery and geophysical data, to infer potential locations of interest for mapping and drilling. And then we do some 3D modeling after we get that result. A production geologist, they take the data from the exploration geologist and now they have to convert it into a resource. So what they do is a lot of infill drilling at short centers. That means drill holes have to be X amount of meters apart, so often 25 to 50 meters. They do underground mapping, 3D modeling, definition drilling, and muck sampling once it's in production. And then the top tier, and this has nothing to do with pay scale, it's just really where you prefer to be working. So the exploration geologist is out in the field. The further you get into the mine, the less you actually go out. A resource geologist models the resource from calculated assays and other items. They make mining plans with engineers. The design definition drilling plans, calculating and determining ore body potential. A little bit about myself. I went to the University of Saskatchewan to become a pharmacist. I didn't succeed in that route, evidently, as I'm here today as a geologist. I began working after the industry fell in 2012, lucky enough to remain working since then. I've worked as a teaching assistant, mapping assistant, core tech, paleontological archive assistant, core logger, soil sampler, data analyst, um, variations of geologist in the field project, and then senior exploration geologist now. I've worked for many types of companies, junior exploration companies, exploration camps that are distal to the mine, and production and resource geology. So diversity in the workplace. This industry hasn't always been welcoming to people who don't fit a particular stereotype. And some people have not yet become accustomed to seeing women or diverse persons in the industry. I'm certain many of the presenters here today have had their own horror stories from entering the workforce, but here are some of mine. I was rejected from a job because women attract bears in exploration camps. This isn't true, but that was their excuse. I was the first female scientist hired for an exploration camp that had been running for over 10 years. So you can imagine that was challenging, and the behavior towards women wasn't well established at that point. Only female scientists to work amongst a production geology team. So it was a little bit lonely, but finding your own space and building a space for yourself was a huge factor there. I had a worker who refused to work for a female supervisor. I've had a supervisor who wouldn't hire people because they didn't look like they could do the job. And the list goes on. Workplace solutions. Now, this is what we're currently doing with the workforce, and we can improve it by working for people who promote positive, respectful, and diverse workplaces. I've been lucky with my current and last roles to work for supervisors who empower and respect all members of their teams and provide excellent support for professional and independent growth. Discuss issues with what you see in your team with your supervisors, and if you chose the right supervisors, if you chose the right place to work for, they will acknowledge those and work with you to improve that workplace. For myself and fellow colleagues here today, we could be better leaders. Make sure we're listening to our crews, supporting them, and providing positive feedback, positive reinforcement, and be the change you want to see in the world. I firmly believe in that. As you can see in the photo on the left, that is a person in underground gear, underground getup gear. I'm one of the only females and the only female mine captain for underground mine rescue for the Yukon mine team. So small steps that you put forward really improve your work environment. So changes I've seen since starting becoming a geologist: supervisors and senior staff fighting for equality, more available training for ethnic, religious, sexual diversity, more women becoming comfortable in their workplace, and women in positions of authority and key roles to a company. So I'm very blessed that in the company I work for now, there's several women that are in leadership roles and positions that allows for a lot more opportunity for women to grow and have insight. And the future, what does this mean for you guys going to school right now? For you starting out, undecided on who or what you want to be when you grow up, I encourage you to find a strong role model who inspires your growth, success, and happiness. Know your self-worth. There's nothing that you can not do. There's nothing that you can't accomplish if you put your mind to it. And there are jobs out there that are going to incorporate some of your characteristics. Like I had said, pharmacy didn't work out for me. I realized that I needed nature, creativity, to learn on my own. And also I decided, because I've never been, and that wasn't offered, was pharmacy, so I went with geology. You're going to find a lot more value in a career that you enjoy than in something that just gives you a lot of money. I've gotten to work through a lot of Canada. I've been to the territories, BC, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba so far in my career, and it's great. I love my job, so I would definitely recommend becoming a geologist and not letting your gender or your diversity stop you from being what you want to be.
Thank you so much, Monica. We have,
For the age I was when I started,
yes.
I was, I think, 22 when I started becoming a geologist. But that's after getting the degree, so I pretty much got a job right out of school, so I was very lucky with that, despite the recession.
Well, thank you very much for your informative presentation. I really appreciate, we are 2 minutes over. So, and I'd like to say a quick thank you to all of our participants today. Lots of great questions coming. So please, if you have any questions for Monica, please put them into the chat. I'm sure Monica would appreciate them and will provide answers as we continue on throughout the day. Always a pleasure. Monica, thank you so much for trenching the trail for women that are working in non-women dominated fields. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kara.
So now we're going to move on. We're going to move on